High data cost. Now, this is really a big problem among African youth. The expensive data bundles have led to movements such as the hashtag data must fall in South Africa. To get connected to the internet in South Africa, one must pay 10 times more than in other African countries. Now, that is bizarre. This has led some young South Africans to go without food or electricity just so they can be able to surf the net. On average, they spend between 3 to 9 euros per month on mobile data. But hey, when you are unemployed or a student, where do you get the money from? That's the big issue. In Johannesburg, South Africa, a logo looms over the skyline. Vodacom is the country's biggest mobile network company. Once a symbol for the country's digital revolution, for many the logo has become a sign of ruthless profiteering. Mobile communication is a vital part of economic and social life. But what if you can't afford to pay for it? High data costs mean many of South Africa's youth are feeling angry and left behind.
WhatsApp data was about 10 rand a few years ago.
7 rand fee.
Yeah, but now it goes up every year. You know why? Because they want to make money. They see more people coming in, so they want to make money out of them.
Being the IT guy, I now have to check whether connectivity is actually better so that I schedule my meetings for the day around that area so that I can manage my data usage, you know? It's insane.
It is too expensive. And considering, you know, in other places in Africa where it's like half the price, that's what hurts me.
In Egypt and Nigeria, customers pay about €1 per gigabyte of mobile data. South Africa's two largest mobile operators, MTN and Vodacom, are charging 10 times more. That's simply unaffordable for nearly half the population. Encouraged by social media campaigns like the hashtag data must fall, young people are now speaking out about how overpriced data is holding them back. It's a widely discussed issue, such as here at a radio debate with students.
Youth of Africa, we have a problem here. You guys have been hearing about this noise, data must fall, right?
Yes.
It's been going on for a while, right?
When I compare to other children who had access to internet, they performed much better than I.
Smaller data bundles offer much less value for money, which hits poor households and young people the hardest. Often they end up paying 4 times more per megabyte than wealthy customers who can afford bigger packages.
These are varsity students. We need them to graduate. So if they find a hurdle where they cannot now study because of things like bundles, it becomes unfair to them. And maybe bundles in Africa should be taken pretty much and data as a basic human right need. Maybe should be associated somewhere with water and bread and a meal.
We are visiting Info at her home in Thembelihle, south of Johannesburg. Here, most people live on meager social grants or on what relatives can spare. Info Mofokeng had to drop out of her nursing studies because she couldn't afford to continue. She currently spends about half her income on mobile data. When this runs out, she needs to find a free Wi-Fi hotspot. At this local shopping center, she can surf for 30 minutes, so long as she avoids the security guards. Today, she has come with a friend to fill in an online job application, but getting here is not without risk.
I have to pass through a whole lot of things. First, the busy road, and then I'll have to go through that open field where they are robbers there, and then I'll have to come here for that 30 minutes. I do everything in a hurry. Sometimes I might miss a step or miss something important that could help me or help my sister.
So why are the prices for data so high? Are the bigger networks deliberately fixing prices in the background? That's the subject of an official inquiry launched last year by the country's Competition Commission. The results are due to be published in August. In the meantime, the companies themselves refuse to talk to Deutsche Welle. Civil Movement Right to Know has spent years trying to negotiate better access to the internet for South Africans.
Data is not a luxury. We have a right to communicate. But at the moment, I don't see that happening, because those who afford to buy themselves data, who are privileged to have internet in their offices or workplace or at home, they are the ones who are communicating freely. What about the poor of the poorest? What about the working class who are unemployed? That is the big question.
Young people are the majority in South Africa. They also have the highest rate of unemployment. Data is an essential means for them to access education and job opportunities. Info says this puts the power in the hands of the networks, and they know it.
I'd say it's a new apartheid. They earn extra profit through us because they know that there's a whole lot of things that we need to sacrifice in order to make calls or to buy data. We sacrifice food, we sacrifice electricity, we sacrifice a whole lot of things.
The digital revolution has brought global knowledge to Africa's remote villages and townships. But high data prices threaten to undermine this process by shutting more and more people out of the online world. So what would you do when you can't afford to go online? I have no idea what I'll do, because we are in the internet and digital age. So you kind of have to go online for something. But as always, you are more than welcome to share your comments below.